Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, y'all. I know it's been over a month since I've posted some content. I ain't gonna lie, during Ramadan, I was so tired. Like, I was genuinely just not getting all the sleep that I needed during the day. Like, I'm not even, not during the day, I mean, say at night. And, like, working like crazy. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. And after Ramadan, I had a couple days off from work, and I'm not gonna lie, I had to enjoy them couple days off, but now I'm back to it. I'm going to be consistent, inshallah. I will be trying to post. I haven't made a full goal yet in what I am going to be doing, but inshallah, I'm going to make myself a board, and I will be trying to get content at least minimum a couple times per week. That's what I'll say for right now. But in this video, I want to talk about Joe Pyfer versus Israel Adesanya. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this fight right here, I am low-key a little bit scared for Izzy, but at the same time, I'm not. I'm very confident that Izzy can win this fight, and I'm going to get into my reasons why I believe Izzy can win this fight. But before I do get into my reasons why, I'm going to explain first on why I am very nervous for Israel Adesanya. Now, if y'all don't know, Joe Pyfer is actually one of the hardest hitters in the UFC. I seen a video of him and Joe Rogan on this podcast where we were talking about it, on how he even got a higher punch number on the punch machine than Francis Ngannou. And this man has a lot of power. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I feel like if he throws an overhand right or an uppercut, but he really throws more overhands, and he lands on Izzy, he could put Izzy to sleep. It's not a no if, ands, or but. Izzy will go to sleep if Izzy is not locked in. Now, another reason why I'm nervous, not just because of the power, because of age too. I will say that too. You know, Izzy is older. He's 36. Joe Pyfer's 28. He's a younger man. And we know how this fight game goes. As fighters get older and they pass their prime, the UFC will use them in order to try to hype up younger fighters, or fighters who, I'm not going to say aren't deserving. Some aren't deserving of fighting certain former champions. And I won't say that about Joe Pyfer, but I will say that there are definitely other contenders that Izzy could have fought that were more deserving. But it is what it is. This is the way how the UFC goes. Now I want to talk about his strengths, Joe Pyfer's strengths. His strengths is mainly his power, and I'll say his boxing. His boxing, it's not better than anyone that Izzy has faced. That's the reason why I believe that Izzy can still win this fight if he's locked in and is doing everything that he needs to be doing, you know, using lateral movement, using his leg kicks to distract Joe Pyfer to keep him, at a distance, and using his hands, too, at the same time. Thing, too, with Joe Pyfer, I'll really say that's really one of the only strengths that I could give him is just his power and his striking a little bit. But the thing is, though, he's very repetitive on what he does. He doesn't really throw a lot of feints like that. And even then, when it comes to his striking, it's not the best, but it does enough to where if he lands on your chin, you're going to sleep. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, that's it. That's all on that one. Now, when it comes to his wrestling, I don't think he'll be able to take down Izzy unless if he mixes it up. Like, he's going to have to literally let Izzy throw a low kick and then try to do that. But even then, I don't really see him trying to take Izzy down. I really don't think that this is going to be a grappling match. I feel like this is going to be more of a striking match because both of them are mainly strikers. I think as the rounds go on, as they get into the later rounds, I have seen that Joe Pyfer doesn't have bad cardio. I won't say that. But if you compare his cardio and punch volume, and not even just punch volume, striking volume, because in MMA it's punches and kicks and elbows and knees, he doesn't have a high striking input, a higher output compared to Izzy, I'll say. And as we know, Izzy is a very good striker. He does everything he's supposed to do. He literally will calculate and download information midway through the fight. Obviously, a lot of fighters do, but only the elite of elite fighters are able to calculate at the level of where Izzy is at. I think that Joe doesn't have the same thing. No, he definitely does. Every single fighter does, especially after, training in the martial arts after so many years of it. Because even me, myself, as y'all know, I'm a boxer. I've trained for about 3 going into 4 years. I'm going to be able to read certain people and things that they're going to be able to do. That's why I'm speaking from experience on this one for both men. But like I said from beforehand, I believe Izzy would be able to download information quicker and find out a game plan on how he will be able to defeat Joe Pyfer. Now I want to talk about the strengths and weaknesses of Izzy. Now, as we all know, he's a very good striker. The only thing that I would say that is in his weakness is his boxing. His boxing defense, I'll say, not pure boxing, his boxing defense. It has been over a year since the last time that he has fought, and I want people to remember this. Every single time that Izzy has lost, outside of Sean Strickland, because Sean Strickland dominated him, he got caught by Imavov after the eye poke, and with Dricus du Plessis, it was a Looney Tunes slip. And if y'all remember during those fights, he was actually winning both of those fights. The fact that he was winning against Imavov and doing that great against him should really show and tell y'all that, like, Izzy ain't as worn out as y'all may think he is. Now, I'm not saying that, like, his body isn't worn out, like he's gonna be as fast like he was in his prime. No. I'm talking about damage-wise. He has not received as much damage as y'all may think that he has, because we've never seen Izzy get knocked out cold. Yes, we've seen him get dropped and we've seen him get clipped. And when people are like, oh, Izzy is chinny, nah, you can't really say that. Like, I mean, yes, I would say in a little bit of a sense, he's been fighting for a long time. The body is going to lose some of those capabilities that it used to have. It doesn't mean that he's just going to get cooked automatically from just simple basic strikes. It would be different if Izzy had been knocked out multitude of times, and we seen the damage and, God forbid, brain damage happen to him, but we haven't. One of his strengths is his wrestling defense. I feel like during this fight that, we said from beforehand, that Joe Pyfer isn't going to really be able to take down Izzy like that, in my personal opinion, because Izzy is going to use his low kicks. He's going to use his high kicks, and he's going to use everything. He's going to use all his striking. I feel like if Izzy really wants to win this fight, he should fight smart and not fight aggressively. That was his issue on his last 2 losses that he did have. When he lost against Dricus du Plessis and when he lost against Imavov. He was a little too aggressive. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be aggressive. He shouldn't, try to strike back with his opponents. But specifically with Joe Pyfer, I don't think he should try to, trade. And we know he doesn't do that. If he knows after, let's just say 3rd, 4th round, how he downloaded all the information, what Joe Pyfer can do, and he knows that he can land certain strikes. It's a mixture of punches and kicks. Okay, that's different. But if it's just pure boxing, no, that would be dumb. That would be very stupid. He could get Ilya Topuria what he did to Charles. Same thing could possibly happen to him. Just because, like I said from beforehand, the power that Joe Pyfer carries behind his hand. When it comes to, I'm going to speak more about his weaknesses, boxing defense, and switch. I feel like switch hitting too. Like during his last fight against Imavov, that's how he got caught. Backing up too much. That's another thing I forgot to mention. He was backing up, and I think he was switching stances. I'm pretty sure he was switching stances. He needs to definitely, during this fight, instead of trying to back up so much, back up a little bit and pivot out the way. And instead of him pivoting, obviously, to the right side of Joe Pyfer, because he'll be going to his power hand, he's going to be having to go to the left side. Now, I'll say, yes, he should mix it up, go do both, but in a very smart way. And I feel like he could achieve that within those couple rounds. Okay? Anything could happen. I say this during all my videos. Man can win, but I'm going to give this fight to Izzy. And I'm going to give it a 60-40. I feel like that's decent enough. 60% chance of Israel Adesanya winning. 40 to, I'm going to say 40 to 35% chance of Joe Pyfer winning. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe. Wa alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.